All right. So we'll get started with building the agent websites. Um, it's a pretty simple process, but for some reason, a handful of agents are having difficulties with it. So we'll walk through it. We'll talk through just actually setting up your individual agent website, any additional pages that you might want to make for your website, maybe like an open house site, which is kind of, agent website 2.0 before jumping into different landing pages and your consumer app. So when you want to start your agent website, you'll come over to the consumer applet on the far left-hand side, which is the one that looks like a little website. If you scroll over, it says consumer, and you click on that. And then we'll want to go to the agent site pages tab. Now, I have a handful of site pages here because I've gone through this training a couple of times. So I've kind of accumulated a handful of different pages, but you should have 0, maybe 3 there, which is fine. Then here in the top, there's a blue bar that says see your configured agent site. And then over to the right, it says configure your site. Or if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, in the bottom left-hand corner, it says configure your site down there. Now we're going to want to click on configure your site because this is what's going to open up the Kelly guide for us to then start going through and adding and updating all the information for your agent website. So I'm going to click configure your site. Then this pop-up menu is going to give us a couple options. I want to use my new KW site. I have Placester and I want to continue to use Placester sites, or I want to explore other options. So for today, since we want to use our KW agent website, we'll select that first option and then click submit. All right, now the Kelly guide is opened up for us. And we've kind of walked through a couple Kelly guides throughout the Take Command trainings. At the core, Kelly guides are literally just a system in place to walk through pretty detailed, seemingly detailed processes. And it just kind of holds your hand throughout the process to make sure that you're inputting all of the correct information. So it just kind of makes everything turnkey. So what we'll do is we'll click on get started. And this will say our compliance reminder. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge and accept, and it'll ask for our DBA logo. You can search for your DBA logo here. If you don't have it, I would recommend going to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com. And Scott Hardy has uploaded zip files for all of the KW First Atlanta logos there, and actually all the market centers in the Rawls Group. So you can have that downloaded on your computer, and it has the full color, black and white, JPEG, has a transparent background. So you have all those different options there. All right, so we'll click acknowledge and continue. All right, and the way that the Kelly guide is set up is that on the left, 3/4 of the page is going to be a preview of what we're inputting of our actual agent website. And on the right-hand side is going to be where we input all of the information. So what we'll do is we'll just get started at the top and work our way down. So we'll choose our subdomain. So if I scroll down here, I see my subdomain is set as nicholascore.kw.com. This is going to be predetermined for you probably based on your email address or what your website address was for Placester. You can change it. So if you want to change it, you just type in this box on the right-hand side. If you want to type in Nicholas Core Atlanta, I can claim domain. Congratulations, you claimed the domain. I just want to leave it as Nicholas Core. Click confirm domain. Perfect. So you can have it as whatever you want. Now you'll notice it is nicholascore.kw.com. And I'll kind of speak a little bit more about that in just a few moments. But at the moment, we're not able to use vanity URLs. So I actually own nicholascore.com. And before I was able to have nicholascore.com show my Placester website. And so, it looked just like one experience. At the moment, we're only able to forward. So if someone goes to nicholascore.com, they are automatically forwarded to nicholascore.kw.com. So I just want to keep that in mind because I know most agents have a specific URL that they've purchased. All right, so once you have edited your subdomain, you'll see it's up here at the top in the web URL bar. Scrolling down to the marketing profile information, we'll click on that so we can fill in the rest of the information. Now, most of this will come in directly from your marketing profile. So when you set that up and take Command 01, that is what is pulled through throughout the entire command system. So that way you don't have to input the same information numerous times. So you just want to scroll through here and make sure that all the information that's here is correct, and add any information that's missing and correct any information that may be incorrect. So our address here, job title, email, phone number, mobile phone, a quick bio. This is just that simple bio that I wrote for my marketing profile. License number, compliance, legal footer. So in the state of Georgia, we're not required to have a specific footer. But what I would recommend is that you put your name. I put Nicholas Core Realtor with Keller Williams First Atlanta because it's another opportunity for me to put the First Atlanta name on a website to make sure everything is super compliant.
Hey Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, I have a question real quick on the your biography.
Yeah.
Now I've set up a lot of several pages on my page, my site already. I noticed that my biography is a little bit long, and when it's in there under the Kelly Guide, all of it doesn't populate into the spots when I go to create sites, like individual sites and stuff.
So there is a limit for this portion of the Kelly Guide for the length of the biography. So I'd recommend you just kind of cull it down to, I think it's like basically like 2 sentences or something pretty short.
Okay.
On your actual agent profiles page that we'll get to in just a moment, you are able to edit that, and I can show you how to edit that so that way you can put your full bio in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I've had other agents that have had the same experience. They're like, I spent all this time writing this beautiful biography about my experience and my work and what it's like to work with me, and then command doesn't let me use it. It does.
Okay.
This is kind of a workaround we'll have to do.
Cool, thanks.
You're welcome. So fill in your bio, license number, like I said, compliance, legal footer. I just recommend putting your name, Realtor with Keller Williams First Atlanta, market center, brokerage license number, phone number, and then compliance legal footer 1. So here, again, we don't have, in the state of Georgia, we're not required to put anything there. Some states require that you have specific language or specific logos or icons included, like the Fair Housing logo, Realtor logo, stuff like that. We're not required to, but if you wanted to, you can include that here. You can add those legal footer images of those logos here if you wanted to. And then at the bottom, we'll have your profile picture and your market center photo that comes from the marketing profile. Now, I have uploaded the 360 by 360 image into my marketing profile, so it pulls directly from that here. Now, Ron, I actually saw where you had posted on the KW Command website, our Facebook group, a question about why the logos were showing so small. So if you actually want to upload a logo directly here, you can upload the full size logo, and that way it is the correct size. Because if you notice, it's pretty small up there. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. All right, continuing to scroll down, we'll get to our social media fields. Now, again, this is pulled in directly from my marketing profile, so I'd filled in all these URLs previously. So that way on my agent website, people can click to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and my Instagram. Now, I don't really use Twitter, and I don't have a personal YouTube set up. But if you did, you can add those in there as well. And then last but not least is your KW app link. So you want to include this because throughout your agent website, you'll want to offer those opportunities for consumers to click on that link to download your app. So you can see it's pretty simple. We're just kind of double checking all the information, make sure that everything is correct. So once all the information here is good, click on Save and Continue. And that'll take us on to the next step of the agent website. So we'll just, again, kind of start at the top and work our way down. So we have our theme option here. So we have 2 options. It's red theme and dark theme. So you can, the really only thing that changes is this KW logo in the left-hand corner. So you can click, see it's red. And if I click on the dark, it changes that to like a dark gray blue color. I personally like the red. Keller Williams is synonymous with red. So I would say just keep it simple for consumers and leave it red. Scrolling down, we have our homepage text. So this is the text that appears right above the search engine or the search bar. One thing to keep in mind with the agent website that's going to be really different versus our Playster websites, and different than a lot of agent websites in the past, is that our websites are designed to go head to head with Zillow or Realtor.com, and that the main functionality of our website is to provide that that great search experience for consumers. So that way, when they come to our website, they can search and find homes in our city, but all across America. So really, first and foremost is going to be that search functionality. So this, want to make sure that this is what's highlighted. So we have our homepage text, something that lets people know, start your search here. You can update this to anything you want. As you type it in on the right-hand side, you can see it updates the preview on the left-hand side. Start your home search here, or whatever you'd like. And you do have the option to go through and edit this. So let's say you go through the Kelly guide this morning, and then you're like, oh, I don't really like what I said. I'll show you later on this morning how you can make a simple update to this text without having to go back through the Kelly guide. All right, now continuing to scroll down, we are going to upload a homepage hero image if you want. Now there are pre-populated, we have 5 different options of images that are already going to be pre-populated for you. But if you want to, you can upload your own image, and they recommend a size of 1200 by 1200 pixels. So you can see this size here, very large. I do want to call out, and I'm not an attorney, I'm not Lynn or Leader compliance, but be mindful when using your own images, especially if they are images from a listing that you've used. Make sure you have written permission from the photographer and the homeowner for any of those photographs, because my understanding is that when you have photos taken for a listing, you are leasing those images from the photographer for marketing purposes to sell that home, not for marketing yourself as an agent. So just make sure you have written permission so you don't get in trouble and have to pay thousands of dollars in fees. Also, make sure that an image that you pull off the internet isn't a copywritten image, because again, you have to pay lots of money. If you go into designs in Command, there are hundreds of images that you're able to use that you already have copyright permissions for. So feel free to check those out, and you can use any of those as well. Now we have, like I mentioned, there's 5 that should be preloaded for you. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of them. I only have 3 now because I've gone through the Kelly guide a handful of times, and I've deleted an image just to show it as an example. But if there's one image that you don't like, you can delete it. You can click on the preview, and I'll show how it renders on the left-hand side. And when you have multiple images over here on the right-hand side, those will carousel through each one of those images. So like if someone's on your website, every 10 seconds, it'll kind of go through to the next image. Now, if you only have one image, it'll just stay static the entire time a consumer's on your website. Yeah, and if you dislike any of these images, just click on the trash can and it'll go away. All right, so once we have selected our theme and the text for our search engine, as well as our background images, we'll click Save and Continue. And now we're going to start actually editing the content of the web page, or of our website. So the first icon, the first one that we're going to go through is company profile. This is intended for agents that have a team or market themselves as a team. So that way you can present your whole company. So like, for instance, I market myself, things are changing now with the GREC changes, but Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, knowing that I have, my closing attorneys and lender partners and home inspection partners. So I have a whole group of people that I work with. So I would want to fill out this company profile website about Nicholas Core Real Estate Group and what makes us unique as a whole team and how we're able to serve our clients. If you are a single agent and you market yourself as a single agent, you may not need to use or may choose not to use the company profile website. that's perfectly fine. And I'll show you how we can remove this page from your website. All right. So to get started updating this information, we'll go over to the right-hand side. We'll click on Search Engine Optimization. This will be our page title, so company profile. So, what we want this to, be titled so that way I can tell the difference of it. So I'm going to name this to Nicholas Core Real Estate Company Profile, just so I can keep track of this one that I make today versus the ones that I've made previously from trainings. The next option to update is your URL slug. So this is going to be the actual URL that'll appear in the URL bar. So you can see up here, it's nicholascore.kw.com/about-us. I can change that to about, let's do NKREG, so about Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, and you can see it updates the URL bar there as well. You can change this to anything you want, so I'm going to try to make it as relevant as possible. The next is the SEO description. So this is going to be the text that appears in a organic search engine result. So if someone types in Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, what would be the description? So I could write that here, and I put Nicholas Core Real Estate Group with Keller Williams First Atlanta. I can put my number here. I can put mobile and 404-531-5700 for office. So that way people know if this search or this page comes up in an organic search, they know it's Nicholas Core Real Estate Group with Keller Williams First Atlanta, and have both phone numbers so they can easily call me directly from that search result, or they know, okay, this is the right person that I'm looking for. Scrolling down, we'll click on content, because now we can start adding content to the company profile. So the first is going to be an intro paragraph, and that's going to start up right here. And this can be really just an overview of your business, anything you would like to include. So you can see as I'm typing, it shows up over here on the left-hand side. I imagine most of you guys already have some of this content filled out from your Placester website or your marketing materials. You could just, lift this from something else and paste it here. You don't have to make all new original copy. Below that, we have two different sections. So we have section 1 and section 2. You can see the way that it's laid out. It has a headline, title, and then a description, and then an image on the right-hand side. And you can see that down here. You don't have to use these images if you don't want to, but you can. So this would be a great way, like if you have a group shot of yourself, of the whole team, or maybe some listings or whatever beautiful photography you have, you can use that. The most simple way, if I were setting up a company profile, I'd kind of have this intro paragraph be an overview of my business, and then the first one would be like working with sellers, and the second one working with buyers. That is that simple. So you just update here. This working with sellers, and then we sell your home really quickly and for top dollar. And then we'll want to upload a quick image, so I'll click upload. And I'm just going to click on here, drag and drop your photo or browse. And I have a handful of pictures that I've already just saved on my computer. So I'll just upload this. Then click set image. And you can see it uploads and it shows right there. Headline 2, so I'll do working with buyers. Always get buyers the most competitive price on a new home and make sure they are taken care of throughout the buying process. And again, I'll upload another image. I'll just use this image from an old listing. So set image. And you can see how quickly it updates. So now I have all of this set up. Now, if you don't want to use the images, you don't have to, and that will reformat the page some so the text is more centered. But I do think it's a great way that you can show off your team if you want to, or any other beautiful photography that you have. Scrolling down, we have our footer headline. You can put, whatever you want. Let us know how we can help you with your real estate needs. Enter footer description. Give the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group a call today. And put my number, 404. Let's try Keller. I'm gonna type in. Actually, I'm gonna put give Nicholas Core Real Estate Group at Keller Williams, First Atlanta. Ooh, all right. At Keller Williams, First Atlanta, a call today. All right, if I could spell. Sorry, guys. And then 404 531 5700. So that could be your footer paragraph. And once you're good to go there, click continue. And now this is going to go to the About Me page. So on each one of our agent websites, so you think about if you had a company profile, so it's about Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, and then I want to have a specific site or a specific page that's just about me as an agent. And you could have a different page for each one of the agents on your team. You could do that. So, or if you're a solo agent and you market yourself as a solo agent, then you'd want to just use this as the sole About Me page. So page title, so I'm going to make this about Nicholas Core. I'm going to change the URL slug to about Nicholas Core, so about-Nicholas Core. Anything you want. And again, SEO description, Nicholas Core with Nicholas Core Real Estate Group at Keller Williams, First Atlanta, and then put your number in here, 238 mobile and 404 531 5700 office. And I'm just going to copy that because I'm going to use that again in just a minute. All right, so now we can start updating your content. I recommend that you update your SEO description on every single page because it will help your website slowly over time land in the top or move up in the top results for organic searches on Google and Yahoo. So here is all the information that's going to be pulled in. So about me, so I'm going to change this to about Nick, or I'll just change this. Nicholas, title, realtor at Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, bio, about Nick. I can just change this to about Nick, so we don't have a lot of Nicholases on there. Then we have our bio. So this is what's pulled in directly from the marketing profile. Now, as Ryan mentioned earlier, he has a little bit of a longer bio, and it'll give you a character limit here. So if your bio is too long for the time being, you go ahead and just fill in up to the allocated characters allowed. And then I'll show you in just a few minutes how we can go back and edit it. So that way you can put your full bio in here as well. Scrolling down, We'll go to contact title, so contact Nicholas, and then it'll put your phone number and email address, and it is that simple. And then click continue. Now we have a contact us page. So I can update this, the title of it, to contact Nicholas Corder Real Estate Group. Are you a URL slug? It's contact. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And you can see your SEO description. It already was preloaded from before. Contact Nicholas Corder Real Estate Group at Keller Williams First Atlanta. I'll just put in the office phone number here as well. So you can see it gets redundant, but this is really just going to help your site load in the search results better. All right, so scrolling down to content, the page header, so contact Nicholas Corder, and then intro paragraph, get started accomplishing your real estate need goals with Nicholas Corder Real Estate Group today. And then it has first name, last name, email, phone number. And then we have this thing called a message hint, and it has some text that's going to be already preloaded here for you. Now, this is grayed out text, so that way when someone is about to fill in this information, it can kind of give them some prompts of the types of information that would be helpful for them to provide you as the agent. So are you looking to buy or sell? What's your time frame? Where are you trying to search? What's your budget? Just some of those key pieces of information that will be helpful for you when you give them a call and you start to set up that, that consultation with them. You can edit this any which way that you want, and it'll just be grayed out text there. And once you're good with all the rest of the information, click Save and Continue. Now this is saving our agent website. So we are done with the Kelly Guide. So you can see how simple that was, just walking through each step of the Kelly Guide and double checking that all the information that was input from our marketing profile is correct. So once we're done here, we can just click Go to Site Settings and click Manage Pages. So to see your website, I'm going to click on the URL in this blue bar, and it's going to be nicholascorder.kw.com. So I'll click on that. Give it a second to load. And then here's my website. So you see here I have featured listings, which I will show you how to do in just a moment as well. And then I have my drop-down menu, and you can see here I have a handful of different websites or different pages that I've made over all my training. So here's my Nicholas Corder Real Estate Group company profile. So you can just see how all this works together. Any questions on this portion of building your website? All right. So I want to show you how to edit your website. So for Ryan's question that he brought up earlier about his bio, how would you go back and make that change? Surprisingly, you edit your web pages that we've already made in Designs. I don't know, it's just the way that it works. You would think that over here on the right-hand side, you could click this button and it would have you give you the edit option, but it doesn't. So what we're gonna do is go to Designs. So I'll come over here to Designs, and I'm gonna click on Agent Site up here at the top, and that's gonna sort out and just show all of the agent sites that I've made. Now I have a handful of them in here because I've gone through this training a couple times and I need to delete them. But you'll see here it has company profile updated August 18th and agent profile updated August 18th. So I'll know that these are the two pages that I've made today. And I want to update my bio on my agent profile website. So I'm going to click on agent profile, and it will load in the design applet. Now, I'm going to give this today's date. So I'm going to update this 8/18/20, just so that way I can distinguish this page from the one that I previously made, because when I save this, it'll save it as a new page that I need to add to my website. So now I'm in here, I'm in the page editor, and I want to edit my bio, I come down to configure widgets on the bottom right-hand side. I click on agent profile. And if you scroll down to your agent bio, you can paste in your very long biography here. And you shouldn't have any issues with the number of characters if you paste it in here. So you should be good to go, paste it in. You can update any of the information that you'd like. And once you're good with your bio and everything, you can click save and apply. You can see it now made that update. So I put, you can paste in your long bio. And then at the top, once you're good to go, click save changes. So I'll click, would I like to publish this, make it visible to others? Yes. All right. So now it drops me into the agent site pages, and you can see here's my agent profile 818 site that I just made. And if I scroll over, you'll see that the eye icon is not lit up. It's grayed out and it says no view available. This is not an active subpage. Because I now have to go and add this agent profile 818 page to my website. So to do that, I'm going to click on Site and App Settings. I'm going to click on Site Pages. And if I come down here to, I'll click the About Nicholas Korda Real Estate Group. I'll click on the 3 dots, and I'm going to do Select Page. Let me click on that again, Select Page. Now, a list of all the pages that I have, all the agent website pages that I have available to me will show up here. And I'm going to select the agent profile 81820 page that I just made, and I'll click continue. And then I'll click save page changes. Now, if I come back to my website, let me open up a new browser window here. nicholaskorda.kw.com. I reload this and come here. I select About Nicholas Korda Real Estate Group, and you can see it now says you can paste in your long bio. So that's how you make an update to your agent profile or any of the pages that you make in your Kelly Guide. You'd go through designs, make the changes, then save it with a new name, and then you come into site and app settings, site pages, and you adjust the page there. Any questions on how to update your website or pages that you've made through the Kelly Guide?
Hey, Nick, for again, for Brian and I, you know, we use only one website. Yep. Is it feasible to when you do this to add another agent website and then just change out Brian's photo with my photo and Brian's bio with my bio? Because I know you can edit the photo that you put in there. Is that, and then you just have 2 tabs under your menu?
Yeah, absolutely. So so let's say you want to add a page for Brian.
Yes.
So excuse me. So what I'll do is I'll go to agent site pages. I click create a new site, and I'd want to select on my agent site, and then click create page. And then I would select from the widgets, I would select agent profile. And then I'd go to configure widgets, agent profile, and then I would change my photo. So let me just change it to the picture of the dog. And then I can change this to let's do About Brian. I can't remember. I'll just, more real estate.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just for example. And then About Brian, and then I'll just, you get the hint. So I'll click save and apply. And then let me come up here to give this a name. So this would be Brian's agent. Bio. Yeah, agent bio. Perfect. So I click save page changes. It's going to ask if I want to make visible to others, and click yes. Now I'll come to site and app settings, because you can remember this site isn't active yet because I haven't actually added it to my agent site yet. Click Site and App Settings. Come over to Site Pages. I'll come down to the bottom and I'm going to click Add Page. I'll select Brian's agent bio and click Continue. And now I'm going to fill in this information over here. So page title, about Brian, URL slug, about Brian, learn more about Brian at KW First Atlanta.
Then you'd probably want to move that page up closer, or, well, actually you have it. You'd probably want to move it closer to where all your other agents are.
Yep. So once you fill in this information, click Save Page Changes. Now, to what you just said, you'd want to move it up so it's more relevant. So to do that, you click on the 6 dots on the left-hand side of the page title down here.
Mm-hmm.
You just drag it to where you want. So let's say if you have about Ryan first and then about Brian second, click Save Page Changes. I'll come back over to my website. So let me just come over here. Let me click Home, refresh. And now you can see I have about Nicholas Court Real Estate Group and then about Brian. And then here's my second agent profile.
Okay. Now the other question I have too is how many pages can you actually put on your menu bar? Because I heard there was a limit.
So I think that I am nearing the limit. I want to say, I think it's like 10 or 12.
Okay.
That being said, because the main focus of the agent website is to not really necessarily be about us as agents, but to be all about that consumer experience. So when a consumer comes to our website, they can start searching for homes and they can start to use our website for all of their home searching needs rather than going to Zillow or Realtor. So in the past, like our Placer websites, and especially if you use another CRM, those websites are really all about the agent and how this agent is going to help you, is going to be the one agent that's going to help you buy a new home. It's going to be the best, blah, blah, blah. Really, we want the focus to be about the consumers and us as agents being secondary.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I've been adding, I've been watching a lot of the YouTube videos from like Marty Miller and Nick Baldwin and stuff, and been adding a lot of pages like the Keller Mortgage and Keller Coverage page and the mortgage calculator page and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that I'm just trying to figure out how to incorporate all of the pages that I want to put in there without getting to my limit of menu pages, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I say just continue to add pages that are relevant until you reach that limit. But I do think it's 10 or 12.
Okay.
So, all right. So, I want to walk you through the site and app settings really quickly, because this is really going to be where you can make changes and adjustments to your agent website settings. So to do that, when you're in the consumer applet, on the right-hand side, click on Site and App Settings. And there's a handful of different tabs, and we'll walk through each one of them here. So for general, we have our agent site hero text. Now, if you remember earlier, I told you that if you don't like what you put as your hero image text, you can change it really easily, and you can do it here. So start your home search here. You can just update it there and then click Save Page Changes. And that's how simple it is for you to update your hero text. And if you want to change your images, so let's say you have, over time, you started to accumulate some marketing images that you want to use, you can just start to upload those directly here in the site and app settings, so you don't have to go back through that Kelly guide. And it will make those changes. So you can just click Upload here and select any of the images that you want. Download app landing page. So as a part of, for our mobile app, one of the ways that people can download it is by going to a landing page that we have that's unique to us. And that way it automatically links their app to us as their agent. You can update the hero text there. It defaults to download my app to find your new home anywhere. If you want to change that, You can, or you can put whatever you want. I just leave it as there. Next, we can add virtual tours to our active listings. So if you want to do that, I will show you how. So you click on select listing. So I'll just pull up, here's a listing that I have, Hidden Springs, Trace. I don't know why it's not showing up. Maybe because it went under contract. All right, let's try zip code really fast, 30082. Okay, well, theoretically what you would do, and this is one of the benefits of live training, is that you would find your listing here and you would confirm your listing. And then I could come over to, you'd be able to then select the virtual tour. So if you have a link, so if you have it uploaded to your Google Drive or YouTube, you could put that URL in with that listing. And I'll show you in just a minute how that would render. So if you come up, actually, I'll show you right now. So if you go to your website, so I'm just gonna scroll down because I have an active listing or a featured listing. So this is my listing that I was trying to show you. And you add a virtual tour, you'll notice that right here in the bottom right-hand corner, there's an icon that says virtual tour. So if I click on that, it'll open up the link to the Google Drive video that I have for the virtual tour of the home. And so a buyer could watch that video there. So that would be the benefit of adding a virtual tour. And knowing that their increased use and popularity during COVID, I recommend that if you have those virtual tours, make sure that you add it to the your listing if you don't already have it in FMLS and Georgia MLS. And once you make any changes, click Save Changes, just to make sure everything saves correctly. The next tab is URLs. And this is what I was mentioning to you earlier, that right now we're only allowed to use the kw.com subdomain. We don't have access to custom domains. So you can see if I try to click on it, it doesn't give me that permission. In the future, and I'm hoping in the near future, you should be able to use a custom domain or vanity URL for your website. So that way I could load nicholascore.kw.com in nicholascore.com. However, at the moment, we're not able to. So what I do is within my GoDaddy settings, I forward nicholascore.com to go to nicholascore.kw.com. 9 out of 10 consumers aren't going to even realize they're being forwarded. Just that way that it's a seamless experience for them, because I have nicholascore.com on all my business cards. And I imagine that you probably would have your vanity URL on your business cards, and that way it's just seamless and they won't even notice. Here below this is your app URL. So if you ever need to get your app URL, it is going to be right here. So if you click on copy, so I'm going to open this up for you and click paste. This will be the landing page that you could send to a buyer, or sorry, to a client, and they could download your app. And you'll see, here's this pre-text, curious about what's trending in your neighborhood, download the app. Here's my image from my marketing profile. And here, they can put in their phone number, and it'll send them a text message with a link to download. So this makes it super, super seamless for them. So that's that URL there. So I would even recommend putting that in your email signature. Make sure it's in your marketing profile, so that way it's all over your marketing materials. And if you make any changes, click Save Changes. The next tab is featured listing. So one of the pieces of feedback that labs received when they launched the agent websites was that we weren't able to have featured listing. Because one of the benefits of working with me as an agent is that I can have your listing on my homepage. So when someone comes to search for real estate from nicholascore.kw.com, they'll see your listing front and center. So they took that feedback and they added feature listings, which is why I always recommend that if you have feedback for labs, let them know, because they do listen and they will make those changes. So if you want to add featured listings, here you have a headline, so you can update this to I had Atlanta's newest listings. And then you can add your listings, so select listings. So you can search by property address. Now, one thing I will point out is over here on the right, it's going to default to only my listings. Sometimes KWLS doesn't always update properly or quickly. So you may be better off searching all listings, and then you can search all listings. So I am searching for a closed listing that I had. Let's see if it comes up. I guess it won't since it's already closed. But you can just search for all the listings that you want. Sorry, wrong address. 3 feet. All right, I guess it doesn't want to show up. But that way you can search. I would recommend searching for all listings. Now, if you don't have any listings, if you're a newer agent, you could always ask another agent, hey, would you mind if I feature your listing on my homepage? I imagine that most agents would 100% accept you putting that listing on their website. It's gonna be more exposure for their clients. Just make sure you have written permission first. So you would click select and then click done. And if you had multiple listings here, you could reorder them. So if you wanted one to show up first, and then click save changes. So that is a new feature that's only rolled out in the last couple of weeks. So make sure you take advantage of that. And it's just another selling point that you can add into your marketing for your clients. The next tab is theme. And this is what we walk through in the Kelly Guide. It's really just the difference between the red KW and the dark KW. And again, I always recommend the red, but if you like the dark one, you can change it at any time. Just come over here and change it. And then the last tab is going to be site pages. And we kind of walked through this a little bit earlier, but this is where you make any edits, add pages to your website, change the actual content that shows up on your website. So if you wanted to add a new page, like I showed earlier, you'd click add page down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and then you would select the page or the site from your list of created websites in Command. Now I already have a bunch on here. So if I wanted to change, let's say I wanted to update the contact Nicholas Core Real Estate Group page, I could click on that on the 3 dots on the right-hand side, click select page. And then I could just come over here and change to whatever other page I wanted to and click continue. And then make sure you always click save page changes in the bottom left-hand corner. So the system saves those changes and they actually show up on your website. Anytime you make an edit to a page, so as we did earlier with the agent profile, we wanted to edit the biography so we could put in the full bio. You will need to come back into site and app settings. Excuse me, site and app settings, site pages, and select your page there. If you want to reorder them, just click on the 6 dots on the left-hand side and put them in whatever order you would like. And then click Save Page Changes. Any questions about agent website, editing a website, making a new one? Because I want to show you in just a minute how we can add a blog. And then how we can an open house type website in just a minute. Any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can add a blog to your website. So another piece of feedback a lot of agents have given labs is that they miss having that blog functionality where they're able to write information and on various topics about real estate. So it's coming in the future, but in the meantime, there's a little bit of a workaround and we can add a HomeKeeper blog to our website. So as a KW agent, you should automatically have a HomeKeeper account that you should receive login when you join KW. If you haven't, you can just go to Homekeeper, KEEPR.com, and then click sign in for realtors. Now, if I saved my login information, but if you forgot your password or you don't have one, you can sign up or forgot password, and that way it'll send you the information and you can set this up. So I'm going to click log in. All right, so I've logged into Homekeeper, but before I go any further, I'm going to go back into Command because I want to show you how we can take this information from Homekeeper and put it into our agent website. So I'm going to come back into Command. I'm going to click on Agent Site Pages, and then I'm come up here. I'm going to click on Create a New Site, and I want this to be on my agent website. So I'm going to click on my agent site and click Create Page. Before I do anything, I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to name this Blog 1820, just so I can keep track of it from the other ones that I've made previously. Now, whenever you make a new page for your agent website, you have to use at least one widget. So you can use the contact form, the agent profile, download my app. And there's two different ways that we can add this, the Homekeeper blog to our website. The first is if I come over here, where is, so the first is if I add a content block. So I want to add text, leave that there. And since I have to add at least one widget, I'll do the download my app widget below that. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Homekeeper. And you can see here, I have if I scroll down to my widgets, I have two widgets, and I click on embed widget. And it gives me two options, my Trusted Pros widget or my blog widget. I'm going to select my blog widget, and I'm going to come down to my blog widget iframe. Now you want to make sure that you select iframe, because iframes, what they do are basically going to load another website within another page. So I'm going to click on copy code. It's copied. Now I'm going to come back to Command. I'm going to come into where this text is. I'm going to paste it. Give it a second to load. And you can see it loads that blog, all that blog content right here on my website. And if I scroll down, there's the download my KW app. So that is pretty cool, except now it doesn't, no one's really going to know that this is a blog. There's no page header or anything to let anyone know that it is a blog. So here's a really interesting workaround. Did not mean to click on that. Come back over here. That I can show you if I can. So what I want to do is I want to delete this text box that has the widget put in it. So I'm going to click on the little trash can right there in the bottom right hand corner. And then I'm going to delete this download my KW app because I'm not going to need it in just a moment. Because what you can do is, one great thing about Command and building websites is that you can actually load HTML text script into any of the text fields within widgets. So what that means is that I could use the agent profile widget. So I'm just going to drag and drop that over here. And I can actually load in my Homekeeper blog within this widget. So to get started, I'm going to click on Configure Widgets. Ooh, why does it have download my app? We don't want download my app. Let me just delete this real fast. Let me click Configure Widgets just so. All right, let me try adding agent profile again. Configure widgets. Okay. This is not working, so let me exit out of here. So let me come back to, I guess I don't see where it added my site, so did it add it on here? Blog. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to create a new site, agent on my agent site. Let me rename this blog 81820. Now I showed you before how you can use a text box, but then you'd also have to use a different widget because you need to have at least one widget. But a way that we can get around that is actually using the agent profile widget. So I'm going to click that and drag it over. Now, okay, now this is working properly where it's loaded my information. So I'm going to click on configure widgets. I'll click agent profile, page title. I want to name this blog, and I'll role and company, realtor with Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. Bio title, so you can see here, I'm going to name this Real Estate News. And then if I come down here to where I have my agent bio, I'm going to paste in that text, that iframe widget text that I copied from the Homekeeper site. I'll paste that in there. I'll scroll down, contact Nicholas, and then my phone number. I'm just going to add in dashes because for whatever reason, sometimes Command does not add dashes in my phone number. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. Like I said, I won't then. So I'll click Save and Apply. Now you can see the preview, it loads in that blog right here within that Homekeeper widget. And to me, it just looks much more cleaner, more professional looking. And then you can update any of the information that you want. Blog title, let's do it, real estate blog. I can even update company profile, our role in company. Let's say learn more about what's going on in Atlanta real estate. And click Save and Apply, and it will update. Perfect. Now I can click Save Changes. Yes, I would like to make this visible to others. You can see here that my blog is not visible yet, so I need to come to my site and app settings, site pages. I'm going to click Add Page. I'll select blog 818 because that's what I created today. Click Continue. New page. I'm going to blog 818. Blog. I'm just going to give this 818 and then blog. I'm just being simple. And I'll click Save Page Changes. Perfect. And then I want to scroll. I'm going to bring blog 818 up to be the third page down on my menu bar. Save Page Changes. Let me come back to my agent website. Let me come home. Refresh. And if I come to the drop-down menu, you can see here, it says blog 818. Click on that, and it loads the blog that I just added. Now, any consumer would probably not realize that most of this content is actually being hosted from somewhere else. It looks like your blog, and it looks really professional and clean. It has a bunch of different ideas and content there. So yes, at the moment, it's not your information or your writing, but it is a great way that you can add that blog content to your websites, and that way someone can spend more time clicking around on your website and find things that'll be more useful for them about real estate and selling your home, buying a home, all that information.
And I love this because not only is it, I mean, yeah, it's real estate news, but it keeps you from having to write your own blog. First of all, I mean, us realtors, we don't have much time on our hands to do things like that. One thing I love this as well, because what I've done with mine is I've actually added the app widget at the bottom, and then in the text of the app widget, I've actually embedded the code for the KW app commercial from YouTube.
Oh wow!
So that at the bottom, it actually, when you scroll all the way down to the bottom of my blog page, it actually plays the video, and then you can see the download my app.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, there's once you start to when you kind of learn the basic functionality of how to build your website in Command, there are a lot of different tricks that you can find and ways that you can start to really personalize this website. It's a very simple website because it's really focused on that consumer experience, but you can make it your own and make it stand out amongst all the other KW agent sites, and that's awesome.
Yes. And it's just basically cutting, copying and pasting code that you find on different pages.
Yeah. So yeah, so that is one thing. One thing that you can do is you can add a blog. Another thing I want to show you how to do really quickly is how to add maybe a page for an open house. So one thing, we don't have that capability really. There's not a ton of functionality on how to make a page for an open house. I mean, you can go through and you could set it up. It'd probably take a long time, but I'm going to show you how you can actually build a web page outside of Command and load it into Command. So what I want to do is, let's say I want to create an open house website. So I'm going to go to, I want to link this to my KW site. So I'm going to come back to my KW site. And I want to have an open house for this featured listing. So I want to click on here. And I just want to have this, this image ready to go in just a minute. So that way, when I prepare my website, it's all right there. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to search HTML editor. So we're going to build this in an HTML editor website, and it's much more simple than you think. So I'm just going to use this first one here, the html-online.com. This is the one that I prefer to use. All right, so you can see we're in the HTML tab. Everything's blank here, and everything is blank over on the right-hand side. So what's going to happen is that we're going to start to update and make our website layout over here, and on the right-hand side, it's going to give us our code. So what we're going to want to do is to make it super simple, is we're going to start by adding a table just so it makes everything all in one place. So click Add Table, and I'm just going to do one by one. And the reason we want to do a table is because that way it'll hold everything within this table. And now I want to come over here to Settings. So I want it to be the full width. If I come over here, and if I go to Table Properties, so width, I want it to be 100%. Actually, sorry, I want it to be 75% width of the full page, and height, I can make this 100%. Alignment, we want this to be center. And then we don't need any cell padding or cell spacing. So click OK. So you can see now everything will be in the center 3/4 of the page. And the reason we want to do this is in that way the images don't go out to the full width of the website. So if someone's on their phone or on a tablet, your website will render a little bit differently. And by keeping it within the 75% in the center of the page, the images and everything will load correctly. So what we want to do is we want to get started by putting some text in here. So I want to center align this, and I want to make this open house. And let's do Sunday, August 23rd from 2 to 4 p.m. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is that you can edit the text over here, bold, all that. But what you can do is if you come over here to formats, it has all these different header sizes. Now, I would actually recommend that you use these first because this formatting HTML will be read by Command, and that way it'll automatically give it this same formatting in Command. So I'm going to select header 2, and then for this, I'm going to select header 3. Perfect. All right. So now what I want to do, I want to add an image. Now, the thing with HTML editors is I can't upload an image directly into this HTML editor. This image has to be housed somewhere else on the internet, which is why I pulled up my listing already on within Command. So I can just take this image. So if I click on it, give this a second to load, I can right mouse click on it, and I can click copy image address. All right. I'll come back to the HTML editor, and now I want to insert an image. So I'm going to insert image, source, paste in the source there, and then dimensions, I'm going to click on 100%. And then I'm going to delete the other dimension. So I'm going to click OK, and it loads that image right there into my preview on the left-hand side. Super simple, but you want to make sure that when you are selecting the dimensions, make sure that you put 100% here, because if you don't, then it's going to make those proportions the exact same of the image, and you want this to the size of the image to change based on which type of device they're on. All right, so I'm going to come below here, and then let me drag this down just a little. All right, so now I'm going to enter. So I'll do FMLS number, and I can come back over here. Let's see, what FMLS number is this? I think it was at the top, wasn't it? Yep. So let me just copy this real fast and come back to my HTML editor. All right. And now what I want to do is, let me wait for that bar to go away, is come back here, and I can copy this URL, the copy, come right here, and then I can insert a link, title, target. We want, so you just paste in that URL there, and it's going to take that. So if someone clicks on it, it'll take them to the listing page within my KW website. So they don't have to go to Realtor or Zillow or leave anything or leave anywhere. Title, you don't need one, but target, you want to make sure that you select new window, because if you select none, then that the listing page will reload in that page because this is HTML, and it will get really confusing. So if click on new window so no one knows that they are looking at an iframe of another website. So I'm going to click OK. And now that is linked, and I can come back to my listing over here, and I can just copy this full text, and I can come back to my HTML editor, and I can paste that in there. Let me scroll down, and I can edit that text. So we have a bunch of different options. So we can justify, so it takes up the full width of the page. And then below that, I can put, contact Nicholas for at 404-414-8238, Keller Williams, First Atlanta, 404-531-5700. Perfect. So this is my open house website that I've just made. I have all my text over here on the left-hand side. So now what I want to do is I want to go to my agent website, or to consumer within Command. I'm going to click on create a new site, then click on my agent site, and then click create page. I'm going to name this open house. What's this? 8/21/22, 8/23. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to come to content blocks. Now originally when I showed you how to make the blog, I used a text box. but I didn't think that was great for the blog, but the text box will work best here because we don't want the parameters or the layout of the agent profile widget. So I'm gonna add the text widget there, come back to my HTML editor, and then I'm going to select all of the HTML edit on the right-hand side, right mouse click, copy, come back over to the text, paste that there, give it a second to load, and you can see how it loads everything in here. Now, it doesn't have all the same formatting here in the preview, but it should load properly on when I actually save it. So now if you come up to the top right-hand corner, you see where it says save changes. It doesn't give me that option because I do have to add one company or one widget to this page. So to do this, so to today, I'm going to add the contact form. So I'm just going to drag that down. So I have the contact form, and I click configure widgets, contact, phone number, and then click save and apply. And now I can click save changes. Yes, I want to make this visible to others. And you can see here, it's not live yet, so I need to go to site and app settings, site pages. I need to add page. I'm going to select Open House 823, click continue, new page, Open House 823, URL slug, Open House 823, SEO description. Oh, I can't use. Underscore, and then SEO description, Open House 823. Perfect. Oh, I cannot use that line, that character either. Okay. Perfect. So now I'll just click Save Page Changes. I'm going to come back to my agent website. Click on this. Let me click on Home. And then refresh. And if I come to my drop-down menu, I can see I have my open house. I guess it's at 823. Whoops. It's supposed to be 823. And then here you can see how this page loads. So it has all that formatting from the HTML editor. So you can see open house Sunday, August 23rd from 2 to 4. And then here's all the text. So that is a way that you can make a unique site for your open house or any other type of content on your actual agent website by using an HTML builder. And see, this is pretty simple. Wasn't too bad. I mean, it definitely took me a couple times to play around with it to get it right and kind of figure out the way that I like to format within the HTML editor, but it, you know, pretty simple. And that way you can now share this website when you go to have an open house. You can share this URL here rather than having to, you know, make another website.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can do all sorts of stuff with this. You can really get out of control if you wanted to,
Yeah.
and you know all sorts of different options. All right. Any questions about agent website, building or agent website, editing, adding pages before we jump into landing pages?
No questions for me.
Okay. Well, perfect.
But I do have to get going.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you keep going, I guess, in case other people jump on.
All right. Well, thanks for joining.
Sorry.
All right. So I'm going to jump into landing pages now. So I'm going to click on the landing page tab here within the consumer applet. And the benefit of landing pages is really going to be if you want to make a one-off page that you just want to use for a specific marketing material. Probably most commonly is going to be used for a listing. just a great way that you can then show your clients, hey, I can make a website just for your listing that no other agent will be able to make. Another benefit of working with me. Another great use of this is if you do a paid Facebook lead campaign, you can then use this landing page as the click-through URL. So if you want to build a landing page, up in the top right-hand corner, click on Create a New Site. And then we're going to select as a standalone page, because landing pages really are one-offs. Everything, all of the content that a consumer would need is going to be directly on that landing page, so they don't have to click around to your other pages within your website. So we'll want to select as a standalone page, click Create Page. Now, we're going to have a very similar editor to what we saw earlier with all the widgets and content blocks. So let's kind of drag and drop the different features that we want to show up in our landing page. So I'm going to name this landing page first. So I'm going to name this, let's do 1705 Hidden Springs Trace landing page 818. So I'm going to show you how to create a landing page for a listing that you have, and to show you how easy that is to put together. So first, all we're going to do is just start to drag and drop the different widgets that we want to use. The first one I always recommend is the branded header. So just click on it and drag it over. And it's going to pull in our information from our marketing profile. We'll be able to go through and edit this and add some information in just a moment. Then I have a virtual tour for this, so I want to include a video. So I'm going to click video, and I'm going to add that widget over here. Then below that, I want to include the listings, that way they can see all the different pictures from the listing, the description, and the features of the home. So I'm going to click listing and then drag that over here. You'll see it's just going to pull in some placeholder information for made up listing out of Austin. We'll go through and edit so it actually pulls in the correct listing information in just a moment. And then below the listing, I like to include a market snap, because that's going to give some detailed information about what's going on in this specific neighborhood or in this micro market. And it's really going to position you as that market expert. So your client will see that and say, oh, wow, Nick really knows a ton about my neighborhood. Or when buyers come to this website, they're going to say, oh, this agent really knows what he's talking about. I should work with him. I should have him help me buy this house or another house. And it's just another way to set you apart. So click on this market snap and drag that down, and we'll add it, and it loads. And then below that, I like to add the lead form. So that way, if someone, after looking at the video, after looking at the listing, and after reading about the neighborhood, they can send me a quick note that says, hey, I'm interested in this property. Let's set up some time to talk. Perfect. And then below that, I like to use the Your Local Expert, because this has a quick bio and a link to download the app. So I'll drag that, and you can see here what it looks like. And then last but not least, the legal footer, just to make sure that we can be as compliant as possible with this landing page. So now that I've added all of my widgets, now let's go through and configure the widgets. So click Configure Widgets, and we'll start at the top with branded header and work our way through the list. So branded header. So here we have header text, and you can update this to, I like to do something new listing in Smyrna, or you could do the property address, if I could spell correctly, in Smyrna, whatever you want there as well. Scrolling down, it's going to double check the information, make sure it's correct. Again, sometimes Command doesn't like to put dashes in your phone number, so I recommend you add those. Email address, make sure it's correct in your team logo, and then click Save and Apply. All right, so you can see here it's updated. So now we want to click on this arrow up here in the top right-hand corner to go to our next widget, which is going to be our video. So headline, take a tour of 1705 Hidden Springs Trace. All right, and then description, just do something really simple. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, This is 2,800 square feet, offered at 420. Okay. Now you have two options here, is you can use a video URL or upload a video. So if you've uploaded your video to YouTube, you can just add that URL here. Or let's say if you uploaded it to your Google Drive, you can just upload that URL or add that there. I actually want to upload the video because to me, I think it provides a little bit more of a unique experience for the consumer, and it seems this website then feels a little bit more curated. So I'm going to click here to browse my videos. Let me add this really quickly. So let me go through my folders to find my video. I'm going to open that. Now this is a 2-minute long video in HD, so it'll take just a minute to load or to upload, but just give it a second. It'll be fine. So it's uploading. Let's give it another minute. But I think it looks a little bit better when I've actually uploaded the video file. In the past, I've used YouTube video links, and they're fine and they work. It just looks a little bit cleaner, in my opinion, to have it in command. So we'll just give this a second to continue loading. All right, still uploading. Hopefully this doesn't take too much longer. All right, perfect. So now it's uploaded. Click Save and Apply. And now you can see here is the video has been loaded. Take a tour, 1705 Hidden Springs Trace. 4-bedroom, just a quick little description there. All right, so now the next thing we need to do is find our listing. So we want to add the listing, so I'm going to click Browse Listing. And I'm going to type in 1705 Hidden Springs Trace, search. Perfect. So you see here I have 2 listings because we have FMLS and Georgia MLS. What I recommend is when you're creating a landing page, always use the Georgia MLS listing because it seems really silly, but you know when you were in FMLS and you were writing the property description, and now they've given us more space for additional characters, which is great because I like to write long property descriptions. But the way that command will pull in that information from FMLS, it won't register that second paragraph or that second section of property description as being a part of the property description. So it'll read as half wrong, half blank. So if you use the Georgia MLS listing, it'll pull in the full property description. So, and the way you can tell the difference is the first and foremost is by the MLS number. So Georgia MLS usually starts with an 8 and FMLS is a 6. So you can see it's a 6 number, that's an 8. And the second way to tell is actually at the KWLS number. So you can see this is Georgia-FMLS. And if I come over here, the right-hand side, this is Georgia-GAMLS. So it's just another way to distinguish between the two listing services. So I'm going to click Select. And then it's going to pull in all of the images from the listing. And if I want to change the header image that I want to use, I can select from any of the listing images there. Or if I wanted to, I could upload my own, but I don't because I have these beautiful images here. So once I'm good to go, I'll click Save and Apply. And I'll scroll down and you can see that it is now loaded my listing. Pulls in all the information. And here's the full property description. So I don't have to worry about any information being left out. I want to make sure any potential buyer knows everything they need to know about the house. And then it goes through a slideshow of all the listing photos. And then there's the details. Here's a map. Now I want to go into my neighborhood snap. or my market snap. So I'm going to click on the next arrow in the top right-hand corner. And then we have our header, which is going to be where it says Barton Hills Neighborhood Trends. I like the way it shows the neighborhood in dark black font and the neighborhood trends in blue. So I'm not going to edit the header because if you do, it puts everything in black. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And then I'm going to update the postal code, so the zip code, so 30082. And then when you put in the zip code, a list of all the neighborhoods within that zip code will show up. Now, they're not in alphabetical order. I don't really know exactly what order they're in. So just scroll through until you find the neighborhood that your home is, or your listing that your listing is located in, and click select, and then save and apply. And then scroll down, and you'll see now the Hidden Springs neighborhood. It says Hidden Springs neighborhood trends, and here's a bunch of stats about the neighborhood. I guess there isn't a ton here, but it's still unique. All right, so now we want to go on to the next widget, which is the lead form. And the only thing we can add to here is the header. It defaults to interested, let's talk. I like this. I think it's kind of fun. So I just leave it as interested, let's talk. The next is going to be the local expert widget, which is just going to be kind of a little bit about yourself. So I have my name, my team, role, my license number, again, my bio. And so this pulls directly from my marketing profile. But as we've talked about earlier in this training, you're only allowed 280 characters. So I definitely recommend that you have a shorter version of your bio. So that way it will fit here. And then we'll scroll down, mobile phone. Now it doesn't have the dashes here, but if I look over here, I can see where it has the dots in between the sections of numbers. Email, link to download my app. So it doesn't automatically include that link. So I'm just going to grab that link. I have it saved in my email signature. So I'm just going to paste that in here. So we're good to go. It's going to make you put that URL in there. If you don't know it, or you just need to put a URL in there for the time being, I would say just type in google.com, and then you can edit the landing page in a little bit once you get the URL to your app. And then click Save and Apply. It's updating the widget. All right. Okay, perfect. So I scroll down here. So it updated. So now we're going to go to our last widget, which is the legal footer. And again, just double checking, make sure this information is correct. So market center name, office phone number. Now I do want to add the dashes here so it's easier to read. Our address, mailing, brokerage license number, perfect. Click Save and Apply. And now everything has loaded properly. So I can come back here and I can click Save Landing Page. Well, I don't want to save this draft. I click Publish Landing Page. Do I want to make this visible to others? Yes. So now I can see here, I have my 1705 Hidden Springs Trace landing page that I created today. Now you can see this URL is really crazy. It's just a bunch of random letters and numbers. You can edit that URL so it looks much more professional. So what you'd want to do is come over here to the three dots on the right-hand side, click Change URL, and then you can update this to whatever you want. So I'd recommend the property address, so Hidden Springs Trace, and I'm just gonna put 818 so I know that it's from today's training. And then click Create. Give it a second to save. I don't know why everything's being so slow today. And then now you can see here we have a new URL that is much cleaner looking. So I'm going to click on this and it is going to load my landing page. Now here is the video. I can click play there. Now one thing I want to point out, and this is just personal preference, but this video takes up the full screen. Like that is huge, which I don't necessarily love. So what I want to do is I actually want to edit this landing page. And I'm going to show you how you can edit the video so it doesn't take up the full screen like that. So I'm going to click edit. It's going to put me back into my landing page. I'm going to click on the video widget. And then I'm going to come over here to the paintbrush. And that gives me the option to edit different features within this widget. So I'm going to edit the dimensions. So you'll see here we have width and height set automatically. So what I want to do is for width, I want to update this to 75%. So it makes it a lot smaller, but you'll notice that it automatically aligns to the left-hand side. So I want to make sure that I can get this to align properly in the center. So what I want to do is I want to add a margin on the left-hand side. So if this is a width of 75%, that means that this is 25%. And if I want it to be in the center, that means I have to have a left-hand padding or margin of 12.5%. And then click enter, and now it is center aligned. So to me, it makes it a lot easier to view. It looks more correct that it's not taking up the full page. So I'm going to click publish page. Yes, I want to make this visible. It has been updated. So let me come up here to my landing page URL that I've already opened. I'm going to click on refresh. And now you can see this is now how my video renders. It is center of the page. It's only 75% of the page. So I can see, take a tour of 1705 Hidden Springs Trace, and here's my video. And I can continue to scroll down. Here's the actual listing, the features, the slideshow, the map, all that information about Hidden Springs. And then here's the About Nicholas, and then my legal footer. So that is how to make a landing page. You can use landing pages for all sorts of things. I've spoken with agents that have made individual landing pages for different neighborhoods that they're farming. And they can then share those with that neighbor or that neighborhood, use it to collect information, especially if you want to collect some client testimonials. A landing page is a great way to do that. So you can send them, hey, here is a link to a page that you can submit a testimonial for me. Please let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Lots of different uses. So that is landing pages. The last thing we want to walk through is our KW mobile app. So to do that, I'm going to come to Site and App Settings. I'm going to come to URLs, and I'm going to come to your app URL settings. And I'm going to copy that URL. And then I'm just going to paste it here because I want to show you, come back to this app website. So this is the URL that you can send people to download your app. You don't really have too much configuring to do for your app. As long as you've gone through your marketing profile and you've uploaded your headshot, your name, all that information, you should then be able to, you don't have anything to actually do to set up your app. So you can start giving people this link to download your app. And one of the benefits of giving them this direct link is that since it'll automatically connect their profile to you as their agent. So they can download it here. You can send a text. So I'm going to type in my phone number. I can click send link. Success. And now I've just received a text message that says, click here to download your Keller Williams app. And I can download it. I already have it on my phone. So, but with the first time that you log in, now I would recommend if you haven't downloaded your app, go ahead and do that now, because you'll want to go ahead and download it so you can see what the experience is like. But there's also a trick that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So the first time that you log in, first time you open it, you'll need to create an account. I would recommend you using an email address for the contact that you made for yourself in TCO1. So probably using your personal email address, but make sure that you use an email address for a contact that you've already created for yourself in Command, because that will link the app download to the contact in Command. And I'll show you that in just a second. So if I come over here in Command, and I'll look for myself really quickly. Click on this. And then you see there's a green check mark next to my name. That is because I have created a mobile app user account with the same email address that's associated with this contact, nicholas.cord@gmail.com. And that way, I, as the agent, will be able to look and see everything that Nick does, or this contact does, in the app. So when you open up the app, it's going to default to a screen very similar to a map. That's going to show all the listings nearby. Again, similar to the consumer website, the app is really all about the consumer's ability to search listings. We want to make sure that through the KW app, they're getting the most updated and correct information possible, because we know that sometimes when they're on Zillow or Realtor or Trulia, the information always isn't correct. They have a tendency to show homes for sale that are under contract or sometimes sold. But when they're on the KW app, they're able to see everything that's correct. They're also able to share those listings with us. They can schedule, they can request showings, which would be really easy, and it'll let you know. I will get a message saying, my client wants to see this house tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I can schedule that and set that up. It's all very easy. There's a lot of different search capabilities. You can search by zip code, the traditional information. You can search by a school district. So if there's a specific elementary school or a high school they want to be in, you can search for that. One feature that I think is really great is that there's a draw feature. So if you select the draw icon in the top right-hand corner, you can then just draw a big circle, and it's going to show you all the listings in that circle, all. And then you can add on some additional parameters. So you could select price. So we want listings between, let's say, 300 and 400, and we want at least 4 bedrooms. And let's say property type, we want a single family home. So click done. And now here are the 10 homes that match that those search parameters in that circled area. Now let's say I only want to live in this circled area on the app that I just saved, are just circled. So I can save this search. So that way, next time I log into the app, I don't have to redraw the circle, add in the search criteria. I can click save. In the top right-hand corner, there's a little save button. Click on that. And I can give this a name. So I could say, I'll name this as Training 818. And then click save. Perfect. And I get a little notification that says saved. So I am good to go. Now, let's say the next time I log into the app, I can come to the saved button, where a little heart button on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and it says recent saved searches, and I can click on that, and it'll open up all this, the listings that have come on the market that match that search criteria. Now, the benefit of that is if I come over here, I'm going to reload my contact information, and then you can see over here in the timeline, it says Nicholas Cord created a saved search, Training 818 at 11:40 a.m. So I'm able to see, okay, what is Training 818? So I can see, okay, it's homes between 280 and 400, 4 bedrooms plus. I can edit. I guess I can't edit that, but I can see. All right, now I can give Nick a call, and my client a call and say, hey, I saw that you were just searching on the app for homes, in up to 400. When we talked last time, you were looking at homes at 275, what changed? So, not to be creepy, but it just lets you know that you can be informed so you can help your client along the way. And then as they click through listings, you can just kind of play around. I'll just click through a couple listings here. What I'll do, all right, let me click through one more. So these are all listings that I'm looking at. And if I come back to my timeline, I'm gonna click refresh. And it should pop up the listings that I was looking at. Now, it may take a minute just because I'm just going through this pretty quickly. I'll heart a property. So I just favorited a property. So let me come here. So you can see, it just took a minute, but you can see I viewed a collection. I added to my favorites. So you can see how quickly command updates based on the activity in the app. So you can just kind of check in every once in a while to see what your contacts are up to. If you've been having conversations with someone that's thinking about buying or selling in the next couple months, have them download the app, and then you can kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. And so if something comes on the market, or if they see something that comes on the market, they can select request a showing. The next thing I want to point out on the app is how to share this app. So I showed you before a few minutes ago that you can give that URL out to contacts, and they can put in their phone number, get a text message, and download. All right, fine, whatever. Not the most streamlined, not difficult, but not streamlined. There's a couple steps for our clients to take. There's an even easier step to do. So if you have downloaded your app to your phone and you've logged in, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little icon of a person and it says more. Click on that. When you do that, you should see yourself listed at the top as your agent with your name and license number. And then you can click view profile, and it should have, your quick bio, our property, our address for First Atlanta, all that information. So that's going to be the way that you can double check to make sure that you are linked properly to this app. On this same page, if I scroll down to the fourth icon, it says share the KW app. If you click on that, a pop-up window shows up where you can select different ways that you can share this app. You can send a text message directly to your client. So if you select message, type in the name of whoever you want to send this to, and then you can click send. It will send them a text message with a link directly to download the app. And the text message reads, I use the KW app to search for homes with my realtor, Nicholas Ford. Download it now for a personalized experience. And I can just click on that link, and that'll take me to download it. And it just cuts out a couple of the steps that it would take for a client to download if you sent them that URL. The next thing I'm going to talk through on the app is in the middle, on the bottom toolbar, the center icon is guide. And if you click on that, there are two different guide options. There's a buying guide and a selling guide. And if you kind of read through these are going to be prepared automatically for you, but you can edit them. And these guides are really to set up to help manage the buying and selling process with your contacts remotely. So if it's 11 o'clock at night and your client's like, oh, hey, we just went under contract on our house that we have listed, what's our next steps? They could come to these guides and they can kind of read through everything that they're going to have to do. To edit the guides, you would do that within the consumer applet, then click on Guide Builder, and then we have our buying and selling guide. So what you'd want to do is come over to the pencil, and anytime you see a pencil in command, that lets you know that you're able to make an edit. So click on the pencil, And then here, it's going to show us a list of all the different stages in our guide. And then over here to the top left-hand corner, we have the introduction. And so you can just write out a quick intro paragraph of kind of what this guide is about. It's going to be pre-populated with text, but I imagine you probably have some similar information that you use in a listing presentation or other marketing materials that you could use here. So I'm going to come back to the guide. We can edit each one of the stages of the guide. So I can click on pre-staging, pre-listing staging, which I made this up. I can edit this. I can change it to pre-listing stages, and I'm just going to add 8/18 so that way I know it's today. Preparing your home for photos and staging is showing is very important. Make sure buyers see the full potential your home offers. All right. Now we have workspace text. So here you can start adding additional text, more in depth about what this stage is about. So this card subtitle here, you can see all the text that's going to appear within the actual guide process. But here in the workspace details, you can add a ton more information. And one thing I think is a really great idea is you can add contact information for partners directly in this workspace text. So if you have a staging partner or a handful of staging partners, you can put his or her contact information right here. So you can put stagers 1, phone, email, website right there. So that way, after you have your listing presentation, you can say, here's all the contact information, but download the app and we can go through the process mobilely. And that way, all that information is there for you 24 hours a day. And you can get some information. Just click call directly from the app. So once you're good here, you can click Save Changes. You can add multiple stages. You can come to another stage. You can edit the image. So if you want to click here to update the image. I'm just going to add an image from over here. So let me come photos. Perfect. I'll just grab this photo from the listing that I have. All right, I don't know why it didn't upload. Open. Oh, there we go. So it uploaded. Yeah. So you can see it just uploaded. That's simple. And then click Save Changes. So now my guide shows that image. So you can go through here. These steps are already kind of set up for you. So you can leave them as they are if you want. You can go through, you can edit the text to make them relevant for you, put in any of the contacts, referral partners that you work with, update any of the images that you would like so it's personal for you. You can add a step if you want, or if you add a step, you can reorder the step that it is in. So just grab the 6 dots on the left-hand side and just move it. And then once you're good to go, make sure you always click Save Changes in the top right-hand corner. And now you've updated your guide. So when you come into your guide on your app and you refresh it, it'll load the changes that you've made. So if I see showing your home, it now has the image from that listing of the dining room table. So that was a pretty instantaneous update. Sometimes it may take up to a day or two to update the information for the guide from command into your app. But this is just a great way that you can have your clients feel that they're in control of the buying and selling process, and you've made a personalized experience just for them. So that way they have something that they can reference before reaching out to you. Yes, you're always there to answer their questions. That's what we provide them as Keller Williams agents, is customer service. But being able to reference something can just ease some of their concerns or maybe their frustrations or stress, and they can look and just say, okay, this is what I need to do. We're showing this is what happens. All right, I need to clean. Perfect. Now they don't need to bother you, but they still felt like you were there supporting them because you provided them with this unique experience and information right there in the palm of their hand. So that is just another great tool that you can have. And as they're going through the process, they can select the stages, they can click that they've completed that stage. So click mark as completed. Perfect. So that is completed. So if I come to the opportunity, so now if I come to opportunity, let's see if I have one in here. Here we go. We'll go to Stark. And if I click on seller profile, oh, poop. Never mind. I thought I had connected my contact with this, or my email address with this opportunity, but I hadn't. But if you come to your seller profile, it'll show you the app association. So it'll say if either one of your contacts for that opportunity have downloaded it, and it'll also let you know exactly what part of the guide they are in and which steps have been marked as completed. And you can also mark them as completed for them if you know they've completed that step. So it's just another way that all these different systems within Command work together. We have the app, we have our websites, we have contact, where we can see all the activity from the mobile app. We can track how they're actually going through the process from within the opportunity. So there's a lot of different ways that you can stay in contact and stay in touch and in control of the transaction. So that is our Take Command 04 training this morning. We've gone through building agent websites, editing them, adding blogs, adding open house website or open house pages, as well as landing pages, uploading the video, as well as editing the video so it fits more appropriately in the website, in my opinion, and walk through the mobile app. It's a lot of information, but as you're going through each one of these things on your own and starting to build your website or play with your app, let me know what questions you have. And I'm always here to help. We can set up some time, some one-on-one, if you'd like to go through setting up your website or any landing page or anything. Well, have a great rest of your day, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you.